Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to HealthyLife.tv.
Welcome.
Co-presenter first.
Okay, wow. I get dibs today. Hey everyone, Warren Connolly here. As you can, if you're not reading, then Warren Connolly's the name. Coming to you from Szentendre in Hungary. Beautiful sunny day, 24 degrees.
Isn't that funny? When we were on the call the other day, it was both grey in both Hungary and the UK. Now today it's all blue skies and sun in both. How far are we apart? Must be about 1,500 miles.
I'll check. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know. But anyway, welcome to HealthyLife.tv. Today's subject is kick your sugar habit today. Now, do we expect people to do it today? No, it's just literally just a headline. And but you could start today. I think that's the important thing. Mm-hmm. Now, we were talking about this before the call. We were talking about where we are and where we want to be in relation to being healthy and the sugar habit and all that type of thing. And we're doing okay, all right? But the question is, are you? Now, we worked out that, look, we don't want to be perfect. We don't want to be robots. I mean, if we can come in somewhere above 80% doing things on the right side, then we're happy, okay? So, but it's individual choice at the end of the day. I mean, look, I know there's members of my family that drink Coca-Cola, okay? Now, the odd glass of Coca-Cola is not going to kill you, but bottles and bottles and bottles of it a day, you've got some problems coming ahead. But again, that's people's choice, right? So same as how much you drink, like hydration with water, and how much you smoke and what food you eat. It's all a personal choice. So all we try and do is point out a few things. All right,
get you to change your personal choice.
Yeah. So the first question is, how long does it take to break sugar addiction? Well, look, most of us overindulge at times, some more than others.
Yeah.
But the more sugar we consume, the more we want. Okay. However, there is some good news here, and is that people can break the sugar habit addiction in as little as 10 days.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So we're going to be talking about that. So what should you eat? Well, I'm going to come on to that a little bit later, but what should I eat when I crave sugar? Okay. Sugar cravings are very common. You are not alone when it comes to this. So they say. And they say that more women are affected than men. Could that be the makeup of their body? Babies and things.
Yeah, I think that's more to do with the estrogen levels and quite possibly other biological things going on inside their system. Yeah.
Because the facts and figures you normally get are normally for America, but if you live in the UK, you're probably not that far behind. So and probably Europe as well. I don't know, but you'll know about Hungary and places like that. But so they say, in fact, 97% of women and 68% of men. I probably would have to challenge that. I would say it's much nearer, more even.
Yeah.
Report experiencing some problems with food cravings, and especially sugar. So
how do they get that type of figure? I mean, where?
What they do, they run these silly little polls, don't they? And then they ask. We spoke to 100 in like the quiz shows. We speak to 100 women and ask them a question. I don't know at the end of the day, but I know that there are a lot of people that have sugar cravings and a lot of people that are causing themselves problems. So, so do you ever feel a do you ever feel a strong urge to gorge and stuff your face full of sugary things? What about you, Warren?
I don't know if I have a strong urge to stuff my face and gorge, but yeah, I definitely have sugar cravings, definitely. Yeah, even though I'm on the planet's best nutrition product as far as I'm concerned, I still get sugar cravings.
Yeah.
It happens. It depends on what I'm eating. Yeah, before. Yeah, but for me, look, I can satiate my sugar craving just with one or two blocks of dark chocolate, for example. Yeah, or even a teaspoon of peanut butter will do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm okay. Then I'm okay. Then I'm all right. But it's that takes discipline, I think, as well. It's a mindset thing. Some people will just start and they can't. But it's also the choice of what they're starting. If you feel like something savory and you open up a box of Pringles, don't expect to stop until it's finished, right?
And that's down to food scientists. They do that on purpose.
Sure. Yeah.
But the key, to me, the two key words are regular and basis. So people that gorge and do things on a regular basis, a bit like when we were talking about on Monday when we talk about habits.
Yeah.
Now we weren't talking about sugar, but it's a habit. It can be a habit.
Well, I mean, think about it like this: how many people do you see habitually will drink Coca-Cola and stuff while they're eating? So they're drinking fizzy drinks while they're eating, or otherwise, they expect to have a dessert after they've eaten. That's a habit. It's got nothing to do with. It has to be that way. Sometimes people think it's like, especially from a cultural perspective, that on a Sunday you need to have a roast, and then after the roast you need to have some kind of dessert.
You mean apple pie and custard? Or
yeah, exactly.
Cream
like
or ice cream. Yeah.
I mean, you think that you have to do it culturally, you should be doing that, but that's all it is. It's just a mindset. It's just a paradigm. It's got nothing to do with rules or anything like that. It's just how we function and how we have been programmed to think.
Well, let's get this bow. Let's get Robin Hood's bow and arrow, fire it, and let's see where the arrow sticks in. So the next question would be, what deficiency causes sugar cravings? And there's one in particular that stands out. Now, do you know what it is?
Well, your body's inability to control its insulin.
Yeah, but that's what happens as a result. But there's one thing, there's one specific thing that really causes you challenges. And that's a deficiency in a magnesium.
Okay.
Now,
I would never have gone that way. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now, because magnesium regulates glucose and insulin levels. That's the one thing that really has a huge impact. So let's get straight to the heart of the matter. What are you going to eat, right, that's healthy, right, and you can use now to make sure that you don't have that craving? And you hit it right on the head when you said healthy dark chocolate. Okay, it's got lots of great stuff in it.
Yeah, including.
I think they call it the ORAC scale. Okay, and it comes up very, very high on that. So, but it's got lots of magnesium in it, and it's got to be 70% plus. The highest you can get, the better. And I just wanted to give you a few other little things, and there's a big long list of them, but I want to give you a few things that you can grab to hand now, or you can walk down somewhere and get them. All right. So healthy dark chocolate is one of them, but don't go mad. Don't mean say you've got to eat the whole bar.
Yeah.
Maybe give yourself 2 to 4 squares a day or so. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's more than sufficient.
But here's a good one: avocados. Avocados. So as a snack, what we're talking about here, because you get a craving. So let's have a healthy snack: avocados.
Well, you can blend an avocado into a smoothie as well. You can.
That was later on in the list, but yes, you're absolutely spot on. And the next thing was bananas, and you can do the same with that as well.
So you can mix the two together and have a nice creamy, thick smoothie.
Yeah. So if you had on hand a little bit of chocolate, some avocados, bananas, nuts and seeds.
Nuts, yeah.
Okay.
This is a great snack. Is you take a like a handful or two of some nuts,
yeah,
and and seeds if you like as well, and not and or but and then you add like 2 squares of, let's say, 75% or 80% cocoa dark chocolate. That's a fantastic snack because that fills you up
Absolutely.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you really get that sugar craving that you had disappears.
So with the seeds, things like flax, pumpkin, and what's the other one? Chia ones. You can even sprinkle it on your porridge in the mornings.
Just be careful with you. You mentioned flax. Let's just make sure it's ground down. Okay. Yeah, it needs to be ground down into like
most things should be ground down. So, but I'm not going to go into any deep way. But when you're talking about nuts as well, you're talking about cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, things like that. Things on hand you can have. So that should about cover everyone. And if you're not that way inclined, then you could have salmon or mackerel. Ooh. So you can get these in little packets and different things like that. So just have them on hand, so that when you went, I've got to go and have that Mars bar or whatever it is, or Hershey's, or wherever you are in the world. And we got loads of Hershey. We got loads of Hershey over here as well. So
it's so tempting, it really is. But yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
So just stop, think, be like crossing the road, really. And then choose one of the ones that are healthy. You can feel good. You've got rid of the ache, or the craving that you really want. And the other one to use, also, not necessarily at the same time, is a glass of water.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is supplanting. Really, you're getting rid of something you don't really want, or something that's not good for you, and you're supplanting it with something that is good for you.
Well, not just that, but you're also with water. Often when you're feeling that sugar craving as well, your body's slightly dehydrated.
Yes.
And your mind is tricked into thinking that you're hungry. So it's not that you're hungry. It's just that you could be perhaps slightly dehydrated. So if you have a glass of water, then you're done. Yeah. Yeah.
So moving on from that, make sure your hydration's right throughout the day. So I said magnesium regulates glucose and insulin levels, as well as the neurotransmitter called dopamine, right, which affects your pleasure and your learning. So, and it helps you, if you're an entrepreneur, it helps you accomplish goals, dopamine, but you don't want too much of it. Okay, so that's one of the 4 happy chemicals. And the other ones are serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. All right, so they're the ones you want in small amounts. Yeah,
and that sugar spike that you get that brings on melatonin production, so you want to sleep. So yeah, don't go down that road. That's when you have the sugar crash and you just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. We don't want to be in that position.
No.
We want you to go and have a power nap because it's the right thing to do, not because you're crashing. So why do I crave sugar so much? What is the one thing?
It's your mind. It's your mind that's convinced you to crave sugar.
Yeah, that powerful mind. Yeah, absolutely. But it stems from a blood sugar imbalance. All right. So if you're doing those snacky poos, those things, right, then you'll be fine. Okay. And what we want to try and avoid is the old sugar spikes, up and down, up and down. Because sometimes when you've had lunch or something like that, you feel tired. You've had that hit of something, and now it's on its way down. Right, and all a lot of the sugars in your body are being pulled to the food to digest the food, and that's why you feel like you do. Yeah. So have them snacks available.
And this is also why sometimes it's like you touched on. It's good to have foods ground down, is because it means that your body doesn't have to work as hard to digest the food.
Yeah, that's right.
So sometimes it is.
Well, as I say, what you're looking for is a little bit of synergy, a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
Something that keeps you, so you're more like that rather than up and down. All right. So
and if you're on some kind of wellness journey, health journey kind of thing, and just ask yourself the question: Is this going to benefit me in the long run by having this now, or is it going to be detrimental to me? And if we go back to the same thing again, your why. If your why is big enough for you to lose fat and get healthy and get into shape, then you're just going to need to be honest with yourself, I guess, and just ask that question: Is this going to serve me towards my goal? Because at the end of the day, you can sacrifice it if you want to use that word sacrifice. But I know most people do use that term. If you want to if you can sacrifice it for 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half, depending on where you are currently, then after that, it's back. It's kind of not back to normal, but then you don't need to really be restrictive on yourself anymore once you've got to your end game. But get to your end game first. Get to the end point first, and then let the mind play games with you.
Okay, so just a quickie to interject into that. I use the buddy system, which means you're conversing with someone and talking about it. In fact, in this case, it's Warren. But the other thing I use is obviously accountability. Now, accountability is where you're being coached, really. Okay, because I've got a lovely lady from your native country, who you know, who's my accountability partner, and she's going to keep me on track. Okay.
I'm sure she will.
At the moment, it's just for business. But when you're receiving information or education from someone, accountability partner, they're asking you questions, you can also use that on the health side as well.
Apply it in different areas.
Yeah. So, next question: what are the signs of too much sugar in the body?
Twitching.
Nervous
twitches.
Yeah. Like you've got a habit, and but maybe an upset stomach.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like it normally is. I mean, I've got to say, my digestion at the moment is over the last week has been absolutely superb, just absolutely spot on. And maybe I'm getting a few little ticks in the good box category for doing some right things. Yeah, and the other thing, irritability. People can't sit down, they can't keep still. A good rule of thumb would be if you can chill out, sit down and read a book without having to want to jump up and do something else. Maybe that's one of them. I don't know. Sluggishness, tiredness, exhaustion. All these things would give an indication there's something not right with sugar levels. These people that talk 100 million miles an hour and never slow down. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes that can be a sign. So, so don't overdo the sweet thing.
Hyperactivity.
Right? Yeah. So, what about else? What about else? Because we know that sugar does get a bad rap, but the truth is, it's a vital source of energy and essential to our survival. So, we have to take some.
If there's a caveat there, if you're consuming the natural source of sugar.
Yes, that would be my next bit that I was going to say. And you can get that. You can get all of that through fruit and vegetables.
Yeah,
it's much better, obviously, if they're organic. But yeah, that alone would get you through the day. Just those things alone. So just be aware of that.
You got dates as well. Dates is a great source.
Any dried fruit.
Well, I mean, yeah.
What's the other ones? There's other ones, isn't there?
The other dried fruits, you got to be careful because often they add sugar to it.
Yeah, but if you're having something of a small amount, because it's the hidden sugars as well as the processed food that cause the problems. And obviously when I say processed food, I mean sweets as well. So candy. So we've got to cut out the candy, as it were.
Yeah, I think the candy is a bigger evil, isn't it?
Yeah, the other thing we have to look out for really is convenience and laziness. Now, I've seen it where people are just plain lazy. They want to go down the supermarket, buy a packet, stick it in the microwave. Now, that's okay on the odd occasion, okay, because we all get short for time sometimes. But I think if you're aiming 5 or 6 days a week to be cooking your own food, right, and as natural and as close to nature as you possibly can get, then over the long term, you'll feel up so much better. Now, there are 60 different names of sugars, 60 that we don't even think about. No, I'm not going to go through them. That's your homework for today. You've got, and one of the things is about reading labels, definitely, because they're hidden sugars. Now they have to put them on there. It's still not 100% yet, these labels.
Yeah, but also they put the names down in terms that you don't understand. So they don't.
Yeah, that's right.
Sugar, they don't put that as a sugar necessarily. They put it as something else, and you're like, what is that? Can't be bothered to go see what that is. So you just buy it.
Yeah, I actually read it said sugar is sneaky. No. Sugar's not sneaky. Right? It's the people that handle the food and produce it.
Yeah, marketers are sneaky.
Sorry?
Marketers are sneaky.
Yeah, absolutely. Food scientists are sneaky. Now, I have that on good authority. That came from the food scientist. What they put in the food is so that you're drawn back to it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So just saying good morning to Mukesh. How are you, Mukesh? He says, keep up the good work, guys. So he's doing really well at the moment. And talking to the Indian market, doing business presentations, doing a fantastic job. And so anyway, despite all of our efforts, we get things wrong, okay? And we end up getting more sugar than we bargained for. So I think awareness, alertness, know what you're using and what you're cooking. Don't take the easy route all the time, Do a little bit of research yourself as well. Just have a read up for a couple of minutes on something. But I mean, the bottom line is, when we come back down to it, is what you consume in your mouth. All right. And if you can put some of these healthy snacks aside, and it will be great for you in the long term.
And also remember what sugar does to your body over time. Yeah, the conditions sugar can probably will cause over extended period of time if you're abusing yourself with too much sugar.
And there's two I can think of straight away is heart disease and type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, and you got fatty liver disease.
Yeah,
blood pressure problems, inflammation in the body.
Inflammation is the biggest challenge that we face, I think. But
it's the biggest modern day lifestyle challenge we have,
because that causes all the other things.
Yeah.
So if you want to know how to reduce your inflammation, talk to us. That's all I'll say. But what you need is some simple but smart strategies. All right. So some tips on how you can stop eating so much sugar. Number one is obviously go natural. Go natural.
Cold turkey.
Yeah, no, that's further down. But go natural, because obviously the more you cook, the worse it gets. If you can go raw, I don't do raw. I really don't do raw. But
you should eat some foods. You should eat.
I know. I'm holding my hands up and saying, apart from eating a banana or an avocado, but that's the inside, and I should be thinking about things like carrots and things like that. We should be eating without affecting the complex nature of the food. The other thing you can do is delay the decision. Yeah. So that time when you think, I can really do with that bit of candy or whatever it may be, a can of Coke or Tango or whatever it is, and they're all great. Trust me, I love them all. But I don't have them very often at all. In fact, I don't have Coke or Tango. I used to drink quite a lot of it. Don't have any of it now.
I have no idea what that stuff tastes like.
Well, that's great. But So, but delay the decision. What you do is cut the impulse, right? If you feel that you really do want to not delay the gratification, you go back to the avocado. You go back to the really healthy chocolate. You go back to the bananas. And
or just distract yourself. Find a distraction. So
distractions, absolutely.
If you're walking somewhere, let's say you're walking from a meeting to a meeting or something like that, or you're just walking somewhere in the city and near shops, and you see something and you get the smell of like a sugary pastry or something that wafts in the air through the air, and you're like, this is one of the biggest problems for me here in Hungary is that. But it's you get that impulse that you want to buy that, and now you want to have that. And if you can catch yourself in the moment, just carry on walking. Just carry on walking past, and if you are meant to have it, another one will pop up somewhere else. And if you remember it and you get that same craving, then perhaps go and buy it if you really need to, if you're salivating at the corners of the mouth. But otherwise, just distract yourself, and that's a great thing to do. And I actually have a technique that I learned many years ago for that same thing. With regards to smoking, sugar, anything that you want to put that's bad that you want to put in your mouth. I have a technique that actually helps to cancel that frequency that you're on. Basically, it's a frequency you're on when you have that sugar craving. And I have a technique that I learned, and it helps to cancel that frequency. So it distracts your brain from thinking about that.
Is that something to do with what I use for other things? You change it up. You completely go in a different direction.
Well, yes, but there's an actual technique that you use when you're engaging your eyes, and your hands, and you're thinking of certain patterns, and it's just basically what it does is you're taking something innocuous like a head of lettuce or something plain and simple like that doesn't really have a lot of flavor, and you substituting that with the chocolate or whatever it is in your mind. And then there's a process that you use with your eyes.
I see. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. So you're switching.
You're dealing with it from a chemical perspective, from a cellular perspective. That's what you're doing. So you're changing your thinking from a cellular point of view. And it's very potent. It's a very powerful technique.
Well, maybe we'll cover that on another podcast.
If anyone hears this and they're interested in knowing what that is, then they'd be happy to reach out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So other things you can do: dilute it. I'm not going to go into that. I think you can work out for yourself. Time your treats, and this is a great one for athletes. Because the athletes, they're the ones that can get away with actually having something during the run and immediately after the run. Because something happens chemically in the body that allows them to cheat a little bit. Okay?
Well, if you look at the Tour de France, just the Tour de France, they have their meal packs. So while they're cycling, when they're doing like a long day on the road, they have the people that hold out the meal packs. And then they cycle past, and then they normally have one team member grabs the meal packs, and then he shares those packs out to the other team riders.
Yeah.
And if you look inside those meal packs, they have a Coca-Cola. They have sometimes each different teams have a special snack that they use with like rice cakes and other things stuffed into that. Okay, some kind of rice cake snack, depending on where the team's from. But they have sugary stuff, but also fatty stuff as well, because obviously the fat is the sustained energy. But they have the Coke because they know that Coke is going to give them a boost when they really need a boost. So they can afford to, and it's not like their body is compromised or their performance is compromised as a result of that, because their body's processing it so fast, as opposed to the average person who sits all day and is on a couch or at a desk and then goes and has a Coke. Your body's going to process that Coke very differently to a Tour de France cyclist. So,
and what we're talking about is Coca-Cola, not
Coca-Cola. Yeah.
The nasty alternative.
Yeah, not the narcotic. Although Coca-Cola is more addictive than cocaine.
Actually. I know. Personally speaking, I wouldn't have that, but I get it. I get it. So
Well,
the other things are keep stuff out of sight or eliminate. And then when you're eating, portion it out. Portion out what you're eating. Don't go over the top. Reduce the size of the plate. Make sure you quality over quantity always. Savor the flavour.
savor the flavor.
Take
Yeah.
your time. Enjoy each mouthful. Chew properly. And that's another thing that suppresses it. Just take your time and go cold turkey, as you mentioned earlier. You do a detox. Okay. The better you can make the state of your body, the less chance you've got of wanting to want to stuff yourself full of candy or whatever it is you're
Yeah,
going to.
I mean, because when your body's clean on the inside, it doesn't get those cravings, right? So
No, that's right.
it doesn't need it. I inadvertently drank a glass of lemonade once before by mistake. I thought it was a glass of water, and I downed it. I was really thirsty, and I downed this glass of lemonade. And when I realized it was lemonade, I was like, and then all of a sudden, my body, I didn't do it. It was purely involuntary. My body just threw the lemonade back out again. It just said, I don't need this, thank you very much. And said, whoop, straight back out again. So that tells me something. That says like, my body doesn't need that. And another tip, as you mentioned, is keep things out of the house. But this is so important, hey? Especially for folks that do struggle with giving up on sugar, is just don't buy stuff to keep at home.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
don't buy for other people.
Yes, precisely. That's another big one. Yeah. So don't. If you go to the shops and you are a sugar addict, then buy for the day if you have to. If you really feel that craving to do it, and you don't want to make yourself feel shitty. So just if you really have to buy one, then buy something. But don't buy extra so you can store that in your cupboard or your fridge at home, because that's you're just defeating yourself. You're defeating the objective there.
I'll tell you what my dad used to do. Now, this was based on economics and not health. He used to love Mars bars. And in the day, in the 60s, right, the Mars bars are really big.
Yes, yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
And he used to slice it up into bits.
Okay.
So he probably would have one bit a day.
Okay.
So he'd put it on a saucer in the fridge, or when we had one, and it was in the larder before that, which is only lasts about 3 days. But and he used to take a bit a day. Now, what an excellent way of doing it! A, you save money. B, it's healthier because you're only having that little bit. He used to eat well, so that didn't affect him too much. And you were not going to have he didn't have the cravings. He just satisfied himself by just having a little bit.
No, just imagine if smokers did the same thing. How much they would save on money and their own health if they just had like a few drags at a time, put the cigarette out, come back to that cigarette later when you get that craving again. So you're not sitting there smoking a whole cigarette, and because I don't think you really need to. I think if you're smoking cigarettes, it's the same. If you have 3-4 drags, I think that's probably going to do it for the craving, right? For the nicotine hit. So I would. Any smokers, try that. Give it a go. See how it goes.
I think one of the best things you can do is take a positive attitude towards your health overall, and understand what you're doing and what you're not doing with your own body, and know that there are upsides to being healthy. And two of the biggest upsides are more energy and a clearer mind. All right, and probably. Go on.
And better quality sleep.
Oh, better quality sleep, yeah. We never talk about sleep, do we? So
well, we actually haven't mentioned it for a few weeks, but no, really. Seriously, if your body's healthier, you naturally just have a better quality sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So read the labels. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And hydrate. Okay, there's simple little things that you can do there. They're going to help you curb the cravings. All right. And when you hydrate, it's not beer. Okay.
Or black
so you can't have a few pints a week. But I'm just saying That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
and also don't think that you're hydrating on coffee either. Or
No.
caffeinated tea.
They're diuretics, isn't it?
Yeah,
Diuretics.
they're diuretics. So if you're going to have a cup of coffee, you need to have a glass of water to complement that.
Yeah.
But even then, again, as well, I find that if I have coffee, when I drink coffee, I feel fuller for a while longer. So if I'm feeling hungry and I drink some coffee, I don't feel hungry again after a while, because again, it's similar to the water, that if I'm drinking water, my body now is like, because your body's more than 70% water in any case. So it's a double whammy benefit, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're done here. Anything else you want to say before we
No, thank you, sir.
veer off on our day?
No, I'm done. Thanks.
So I hope it's been useful. We hadn't covered this for over a year, and I just thought we'd zip in there and remind people about sugar cravings and other things like that. So I wish you good health, but that's down to you.
Yeah.
We can help you, but the initial part must come from you. So if you need help. Yeah, if you need help, reach out and we'll help you.
We can assist. Yeah,
we can assist.
And sometimes all it is just a mental thing. So if you need work with it on the mental side.
Absolutely. So anyway, have a fantastic day and the rest of the week, and stay as healthy as you possibly can.
You too, Paul.
Yeah. So anyway, we're done. This is healthylife.tv signing out, and we will see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. London time and 12 midday Central Eastern time.
Central European
time. Sorry, I can always say that. Yeah, so it's European time. So
yeah, you and Dave are alike. You both say Central.
Yeah,
Eastern
I know. That's me. No, that's me. Listen to Dave too much. I totally blame him. So Anyway. Oh, no, I must be accountable. Sorry, it's my fault. Right. All right.
Until then, have a beautiful week, remainder to your week and a weekend.
Fantastic. See you later. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.